Okay, so we're going to move on to, this is our fourth piece of our progressions in the Turkish Get Up for our 50 plus class on Monday, April 20th, that we hosted in our live Zoom class today. So this is the windmilling part of the Turkish Get Up. In between the last one we did, which was the hip drive and the windmill, there's actually the transition piece where you pull your leg through, and we're not doing that in class today. I find for the group that we typically have in our 50 plus class, which is people around 50, 55 years of age up to 75 or even 80-year-olds, that's a very difficult move. Some can do it, but there's enough people in the class that I actually leave that for kind of a specialty piece. So that's the one piece that can be a real limiter on the Turkish Get Up. Also shoulder mobility can, of course. So that's why you may never get to the point where you're doing full Turkish Get-Ups. No big deal. That doesn't mean you can't break down some of the pieces and find benefit in some of these movement patterns. The kneeling positions are hard for some of you, especially you can't be, you might not be able to stand the pressure of just being in this kneeling position. You can put something underneath it if you need a little extra cushion, all of that stuff. Your starting position is like this. I'm going to use a little aid today to make mine a little easier for me today, but you can do this right to the floor if you've got good mobility. The real key fault that a lot of people have in this movement is that their spine bends as they're trying to get down to get their hand to that. What we really want to be doing is driving the hip out that direction and driving the hip this way and keeping our spine pretty straight as we go. So left knee's up, that means I've got weight in my left hand at the Turkish Get Up, and I'm going to try and drive that hip out and get to that windmill position, trying to keep my back as straight as I can and go back and forth from that position. I can practice being packed on that left arm when I'm up there as a way, especially when I get back to the top, making sure I'm packed and in that good contracted position and just trying to windmill back and forth. So again, same prescription schedule as we had for the last pieces, which basically is I want you doing 5 reps on one side, switch, 5 reps on the other side, and as I go through those 5 reps, 3 times through. So 15 reps per side. You can see on this side, I'm going to try and do it successfully all the way to the floor, and then windmilling back up. Again, I can work on packing that shoulder, trying to keep that back straight as I can, and I can work on those pieces. Okay, so that's the windmill part of the Turkish Get Up. And again, add weight to your arm if you want. Make sure you're working on that, packing that shoulder as you work through those pieces. Again, prescription is doing 5 reps per side, 3 times through. And we've got 2 more to go. Thanks.